We'll call the meeting to order at 6:30. Present at this Zoom virtual meeting is Rich Melanson from BCTV, Will Bissonette, myself, Crystal Mansfield, Rob Wright, Carla Lumbra, Helen Holt, Irv Stoll, and Steve Frisk. So first we'll do approval of minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the EMD briefing minutes from April 10th.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from the EMD briefing from April 10th, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Motion passes. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the select board virtual meeting from our regular meeting, April 14th.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the select board regular virtual meeting of April 14th, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the EMD briefing minutes from April 17th.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the EMD briefing minutes from April 17th, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. One more. I'll entertain a motion to approve the special select board virtual meeting from April 15th.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the special select board meeting minutes from April 15th, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. I do have a couple of additions. We got some correspondence. We got a letter from Pam and Brad Horn about a real estate transfer. And then we got a email about a tire replacement due to trap rock, which Steve is aware of. And then also under new business, I just want to make everyone aware that there's a VOSHA training that everyone has to go through who's a town employee. And there will be, Sherwood Lake will join us in a little while to go over the COVID-19 town policy that he put together. So moving on, we'll do the warrants. Who wants to read warrants?
I don't have it.
Okay, I have, I don't know what I have. I have a couple in front of me, hard copies.
Did you guys receive a
warrant number 3 though?
Did you guys get a?
I can read them if you want. It's not a big
Did
deal.
anybody receive an email packet with a whole bunch of things?
I did,
got
Carla.
some
I
things.
just
I'm
didn't
going
get
through
the
how many
complete.
warrants I have here.
Okay, yeah,
I don't think I got the.
I sent the cover sheets out for the warrants at like 2 o'clock. And I think, Steve, you went into the office and went through them, right?
I did, and I signed off on them.
Yeah, and Irv, you did too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Gigi,
So
I'm on a
I'll-
meeting, Gigi.
So I'll just make the motions, I guess, since I have them in front of me.
Okay.
Great,
So,
thank you.
all right, so I'll make a motion to pay check warrant number 1 out of payroll in the amount of, everybody, okay. Make a motion to pay check warrant number 1 out of payroll in the amount of $10,045.60.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of paying the check warrant number 1 out of payroll in the amount of $10,045.60 signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Make a motion to pay check warrant number 2, payroll taxes in the amount of $4,274.28.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of paying check warrant number 2 out of the payroll taxes signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Make a motion to pay check warrant number 3 out of the general fund in the amount of $19,557.23.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of paying check warrant number 3 of the general fund in the amount of $19,557.23 signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Make a motion to pay check warrant number 4 out of the general fund in the amount of $867.61.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none.
I
All
just
those
wanted
in
to-
favor of, oh,
I
go
just
ahead.
wanted to ask, the hand sanitizer is for all of the town buildings?
Yes. Yeah, it'll be for the town hall, the garage, the library, and the fire department.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of paying check warrant number 4 of the general fund in the amount of $867.61 signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Make a motion to pay check warrant number 5 out of the highway fund.
I'm on a
in the
meeting,
amount-
honey.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 5 out of the highway fund in the amount of $5,626.92.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of paying check warrant number 5 out of the highway department in the amount of $5,626.92 signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Make a motion to pay check warrant number 6 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $1,499.30.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none.
I have a question.
Yeah,
I have a
go
question.
ahead,
I'm
Crystal.
sorry, because I didn't get to see them. I'm just asking about this program, mobiles and portables. Are those phones for $375? What is that line item?
It's the radios, the new radios that Sherwood had
Right.
gotten.
For emergency preparedness?
It's
Do you think-
to allow the fire department, the highway, and the town hall all to be on the same radios, so that they can all talk to each other in the event of emergency.
So are we anticipating this money will be reimbursed by the feds or the state or something at some point? It's not a huge line item, it's just a question.
I think some of it was, we got grants for some of it, but I'm not positive about that.
Okay.
It's my understanding that this has been a project that's been going on for a little while.
Yeah, but
Um,
the radios in the past, they've been able to, mutual aid, they've been able to talk to the highway department from the fire department.
The radios that we now have increased from 25 watts to 50 watts in an effort for me to be able to talk when I'm on Jordan Hill, to be able to talk to Billy, who's on Buck Hill, or Jeremy, who's on Hazel Hill, where, in the past where we could not communicate with each other. So if someone got stuck, they were stuck there until someone got into range that could pick them up with a distress call.
So my question is, has nothing to do with COVID. This has to do with just upgrading our radio systems that are currently in place.
That's correct.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say the
Thank you.
radios the radios that were in the highway department, I could talk to Acton Hill, I could talk to Townsend Acres, and I could talk to West Townsend with the radios we did have.
Well, that wasn't the case a month ago or this past winter.
I don't know, maybe they haven't kept them up or whatever's going on.
I don't know. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of paying check warrant number 6 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $1,499.30 signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. All right, we can go now to reports. Steve, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. This Saturday was supposed to be Green Up Day, which has been pushed out for at least a month. So my question is, we now have 3 couches laying on the side of our town highways, and I would like to know what the board would like me to do about that. If I pick them up and dispose of them at Wyndham Regional, that's going to cost us $60. Bob Spencer did not get back to us on whether Green Up Day was going to be free or not. At least maybe Irv, you heard. I haven't heard.
It's not free.
Okay, so it's no longer free. So
No.
if the board wants to approve spending $60 to dispose of 3 couches, I'll be more than happy to do that.
Can we put them in the lunchroom?
I would have to expand the lunchroom. And by the time I got done spraying them with bleach and water, there'd probably be nothing left to them.
Right. So somebody want to make a motion around this?
I make a motion, we get rid of them couches.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of allowing Steve to go pick up the couches and bring them to Wyndham Solid Waste signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Go get the couches.
It'll be taken care of. Next on my item, the weather, although it's been crazy above 1,000 feet, I want to ask the board about the park benches. Do we put the park benches out like we normally do, or in an effort of social distancing, do we not put the park benches out? I'd like the board's opinion on that.
That's a very good question. Yeah, I think you have a good thought, and then if we put them out there, it's going to encourage people to be on the commons and probably not follow social distancing.
That was my thought. That's why I brought up the question.
Yeah. What does everybody else think?
I think leave them right where they are.
I say, my opinion is,
Just
I'd hold up on them
where
for a
are we
while.
now?
Okay, so we could revisit this in the 1st of June or 1st of July. Let's see what happens.
That makes sense.
But
Yeah.
because we got 2 more meetings in May, so things may change.
Yep, I agree.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I guess we'll just leave them in the shed for now.
Okay. Do you want to cover the email on the tires?
Sure, we can do that.
So let me get my
Let me-
copy.
Let me get my copy.
So I received an email from a person who lives in Townsend, rents a house up here on Acton Hill. And do I need to read it? Did everybody get a copy?
No.
Oh, I received a copy. Thank you.
I can
So,
read it
uh,
if you want.
The email says, "Hello, Steve. Today, I contacted the town hall and spoke to Anita, town clerk in parenthesis, about my issue with my tires leaking due to trap rocks getting stuck into 2 of my tires. She advised me to contact you. I had 1 tire repaired and the other replaced because I was told the one had a hole puncture in the sidewall of the tire, cannot be repaired, so I had to buy a used tire. I would like to be reimbursed for the damage of my 2 tires due to trap rock. The rear driver's side tire was reported by Riverside Auto Mechanic to have had a broken belt due to the trap rock embedded into the tire. So I think that tire should be replaced as well, which would be an additional $50. I don't feel safe driving my car with my tire in this condition. I have receipts which I have attached to this email." And she has a photo of a Pete's Tire Barn receipt and a picture of the puncture mark in the sidewall of her tire. So it doesn't say when this happened. It doesn't say where this happened. I can assure you we do not use trap rock on the roads. And I don't know if the town historically has ever reimbursed anybody for what they consider to be road hazard damage on our dirt roads. I'm certainly not in favor of doing that. I'm open to anybody's input.
No, I think
That was my big
just ask-
question.
I just
You
could
don't
ask.
use trap. You don't use trap rock. I mean, what the heck?
No, we do not, and
What's the size of the stone that you are using?
So we use a 2-inch minus when we're filling in ruts during mud season. And then our gravel is 1.25 inch minus for the crushed gravel that comes out of the pit. And even the 2-inch minus is what comes out of the pit in the gravel making process.
I realize that, but 2 inches pretty damn coarse for a road. When you scrape it, it's going to be right out in the ditch like a lot of your places are.
Well, no,
You got gravel and leaves and everything mixed right into and plugging up some of the ditches.
You know that we put gravel down during mud season to fill in the ruts, and then we cover it with gravel.
But you still, when you scrape, you're going to roll them rocks out. But
Steve,
not only
do you
that, you're
think
wasting your
that,
gravel because I can show you places where there's leaves and dirt and everything, gravel all mixed together, and that pit ain't going to last you long if you keep going the way you're going.
Well, I'm sure you know that the ditches
because you've
are
got ledge right there where you're crushing right now. And I can show you at the end of the dam where the dam road comes in. Between you and the foreman before, they've raised that dirt road is a foot higher than the blacktop, and the blacktop was the same height when that washed out in the flood. But a lot of your trouble is why you have to keep putting gravel down is you don't cut the bottom, you get down below the bottom of your potholes and they keep coming back.
Crystal, you had a question?
Can I just ask you?
I thought we were talking about
I have a
tires.
question. Thank you. Yeah. I'd like to ask Steve, the highway foreman currently, if he thinks that this is a legitimate complaint. And if, I don't even know what track, I actually don't even know what she's talking about, but I'm just wondering if she has a legitimate complaint.
In my opinion, she does not.
So then I would say, as your colleague on the select board, that I would support your opinion, and I would like to move a motion.
Can I just say something as a consumer? In that the fact that it's on the sidewall, it seems like she was a little too close to something that she shouldn't have been close to. And I don't feel like the town should be held liable for that. Because I've been there before.
Thank you for that, Carla.
What was that?
All right, so somebody want to make a motion to either approve or deny this?
We can't make a negative motion, so I would
So I will make a motion. Go, Rob.
fire away, Crystal.
No, I don't have the letter in front of me at the moment, so, but I would make a motion that we deny this appeal to have the town replace injured tires on this particular taxpayer's vehicle.
Right, I think Rob's right. We can't make a negative motion, so we'd have to vote to replace the tires and then move to replace the tires and then fail that motion.
Correct.
So somebody want to have at it?
So I would make a motion then that we move to replace the tires on this particular taxpayer's vehicle due to her complaint.
So second,
Second.
any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of replacing the tires on the, from the letter that, or the email that Steve got for this, Kathy, I believe her name is, signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion fails. So Steve, do you want to contact her? Do you want to have Carla respond?
I can respond. I don't mind.
Yeah, have Carla respond, please.
Yep, if you could just email her back that the board voted against replacing her tires.
Mhm.
Okay. Steve, what else do you have? Anything?
No, that's it.
Okay. This is not a counter money week. So we'll move on to treasurer's report. Let's see. Excuse me. In the sweep account is $772,636.13, and the checking account is $30,000 even. So that's that. All right. Let's go. No, Sherwood's not here yet, right? Okay. Let's move on to the correspondence that we got from Pam and Brad Horn. I'm just going to read the whole thing. So we, Pam and Brad Horn, sorry, it's dated April 26, 2020 and addressed to the select board. We, Pam and Brad Horn, currently have a contract to sell our property located at 993 Buck Hill Road to farmers from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. We have worked very diligently to try to sell it since we lost our beautiful son Taylor last year, as there are just too many memories of raising our boys in Townshend. We have followed our other son Colby up to Burlington so that we can be close at times like these. We, our buyers, last names Pritz and Wrong, and their attorney have all contacted the town clerk a number of times over the last 2 months to try to schedule a title search. Anita has informed us that she is, quote, is not letting anyone in, end quote, due to the governor's order. Although the governor has adjusted this order and currently specifically allows appraisers, realtors, lawyers, and others in real estate to do their work in the house selling process. He has said that work in a town office can go on if it can be done safely. I believe a title search can be done in a safe manner, more than 6 feet from Anita, with mask and gloves, by appointment only, so that only one searcher is present at a time, if necessary. Excuse me. I will come down personally and wipe everything down before and after a title search if necessary. I would also be willing to, quote, substitute, end quote, town clerk. Another alternative is to have these done on Thursdays when Anita is not in. Selling this property and paying off the associated mortgage is an economic must for us now that we have, now that we are renting a home near Burlington as well, or sorry, 2. Our buyers are trying to get a mortgage and only have until June 1st for their rate lock to hold and would require a title search by May 15th. With the governor specifically allowing real estate to move forward as long as social distancing is adhered to, the next step that has to happen to sell the house is a title search. A way to make these safe soon must be designed. The town clerk should not be able to make this decision without other town officials' input. By the way, I have heard some towns have been allowing the searches by appointment all along. Please move Townsend in this direction now. Thank you for your consideration, Pam and Brad Horn. So, I forwarded a copy of that letter to Anita today. I went down to the town hall and talked to her. She and I discussed the fact that there is, by the VLCT guidance and the governor's guidance, it is entirely up to her whether or not she closes her office completely and ceases all transactions. But she said that she would contact the Horns, and what she told me is she would try to figure out a way to get it happen, make it happen. She had dealt with other attorneys from different transactions. I don't know if she's specifically done title searches, but she has done via fax and email and scanning other document related things. So that's what I have heard from her.
I was gonna say, there's a time limit on when they can get that done, and you can't stop the whole world. I mean, I realize it, but you still gotta carry business on somehow.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is, according to the language of what I read from the VLCT, it is up to elected officials to decide whether or not to close their functions. The only thing that I did read that I found interesting is that we as the select board, because we control the buildings, could close the town hall despite whether or not the other elected officials wanted to keep working, which I don't see any reason to do.
Well, if you can't do business there, then why have it open?
That's a totally valid point.
Well, what good is it to be open if you can't get a fishing license, if you can't get a deed search, if you can't get anything? They might as well close it up, send her home.
Save the money.
We're not going to save any money because she's not going to take any discount in any sort of salary. So we're not saving any money except for on electric. I mean, I think it's completely ridiculous. Somebody's trying to sell.
If I got told to stay home, they wouldn't pay me.
Does everybody remember Putney?
Yep.
No, we tried to forget.
I think that people are still paying taxes, and taxes are coming in, and Elaine's still learning the tax, portion of the piece, because she'll go into the office, every now and then with Anita and do some trainings. So there are things being done, and I think the listers are trying to get the grand list stuff out, which is why they've been in the office.
So
I would have to ask, what is the barrier? Anita could do this title search on behalf of these property owners with no one else in the office, and she's there all day on the days that she's working.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the process to know if the title searchers have to actually physically view the records or if they can be scanned and emailed or how that process works.
Well, isn't a title
So-
search
so
done
I
by
would
a
think that
law company?
those are questions that could, excuse me, Carla, those are questions that could be asked of Anita, and if she's capable of figuring out how to do it electronically, we shouldn't hold up a real estate transaction in this town because, you know, people want to keep the doors locked. The governor has said that there is entry into public places now if you observe physical distancing and everybody wears a mask. I know for a fact that people in that office are not wearing a mask.
I am.
So not all people, I'm just saying, I was in there recently and I found several people in that office, first of all together, and secondly, not everyone wearing a mask, which is the governor's edict. So I'm not sure this is carved into like law. I think this is suggestions from the state of Vermont, and I would not support holding up a real estate transaction just because we can't do a title search. I think that's ridiculous.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, well, I can talk to Anita again over the next couple of days, see if I can figure out a way to get this to happen. The unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm also happy to talk to her, Will. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that there needs to be some accommodations made for people that are trying to still move their life ahead, and I think that there's opportunity to be helpful.
Right, I agree. So I will talk to her, Crystal, if you want to also talk to her, and we can see what we can do.
I'd be happy
to. Hey, Steve,
excuse me for interjecting. I think once Sherwood comes on and we talk about some of our policies moving forward, specifically the town hall, with some new guidelines that are going to be, I think, put into place, we will be able to manage these individual interactions as they come up.
Exactly. Yep. Agreed. Okay.
Agreed.
So I guess we can move on now. We did the letter. We can go to composting bags. So Carla did a little research into the organic solutions and got prices for the composting bags. The ones we originally looked at were 13 gallons, which are like tall kitchen garbage bag size. They also have a 5-gallon size, which I think people would be less likely to try to use as regular garbage bags if they're small enough that they won't hold enough to make it worth it. But we do also have to figure out how we're going to process them, where we're going to put them until they get loaded into the compactor. Irv, had you looked at, you had mentioned used shipping containers?
Yes, I have. Near a couple places I've found them, they're right around $2,000 for a shipping container, which is a 20-footer. That's about the smallest they have.
Oh, wow. Steve, is there any way we could section it off so we could use part of it for something and part of it for storage?
Well, there's only doors in one end of it.
Oh.
Right.
But there's nothing saying you couldn't put a petition in on one side of it and keep the stuff on one side and use the rest of it for storage or whatever.
Right. Oh, do we think this is, I mean, we're going to have to either do this or shut down the dump, right? We don't really have any choice.
Right.
We'll have to do
I do
something.
think we have to do something. I think we have to do something. Agreed.
Okay. So I guess the other thing is, so if we go with the 5-gallon bags, they're $25 per case of 100, which makes them, what, a quarter a bag, right? Is that right? No, they can't be.
Yes. Do you think there's any interest in like somebody local doing a compost pickup? You know, like organic farmers or something?
Well, the problem is that we have to
You're gonna pay for
collect
it.
it. Yeah, we're going to pay for it. And I don't
Right, I
think
guess-
the other thing is with what Triple D and Wyndham Solid Waste is doing is they're taking things like bones, pizza box cardboard, so they can take a lot more stuff than like a local farmer.
Okay.
You take your paper plates and your paper cups and stuff can go in with it.
Yeah, anything that's compostable can go in it, including pretty heavy duty stuff because they generate enough heat to break it down.
Okay.
So do we want to pursue this, I guess is the question.
Well, we've got to close down on the other. Because that as the 1st of July, that's going to be a requirement.
Yep. Steve, do you have ample room in the yard for a container?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
But it'll want to be somewhere near where you can get back to it with a rubbish truck whenever before they go with it.
Yeah. Yep. What if instead of doing that, what if we just bought a, smallish dumpster that with a lid on it? Because the compactor could.
It's not going to be bear proof.
Yeah, the lid's not going to keep the bears out.
It's not.
You
Okay.
don't think we can build a lock for it?
We had that experience
we
at the
can,
hospital
if
where we were
had
trying to
the alternates,
compost
put a
and
bar across the
just
top,
didn't work
hold the
well
flaps down.
at all.
I don't know if I'm talking over Crystal or she's talking over me. I'm not sure.
Go ahead, Steve.
I mean, it's possible, yes. We can fabricate a dumpster where we can put a metal bar that goes through 2 hoops to hold the flaps down and put a lock on it. That's a possibility, yes.
I can show you pictures of a goddamn bear got right into a bucket loader that was holding the cover down and reached right around and pulled the cover.
Started the loader and pulled the lever back.
Oh, he got right up into the bucket of the loader. The loader had the bucket set right on top of the dumpster.
Wow.
And he
Well, we can
got
shoot.
right into the bucket and reached right down around and ripped the cover and reached right into the garbage.
So here's my other question. If we decided to do the used shipping container, spend the $2,000, whatever it is, the bags are going to cost us a quarter a piece. What would we charge for? What would we want to charge for the bags? Like $1.50 a bag?
I would suggest that they would be free. I would think that they would be free if people wanted to participate. We're trying to encourage people to compost. If it's 25 cents for a 5-pound bag, I don't see the need to charge that back to, I mean, we're trying to incentivize people to do the right thing in town. We already charge for the trash bags. I don't know. I think you're going to get a lot of non-compliance if you also charge for the composting bags. Maybe we charge more for the trash bags, which is a whole other discussion, and we give the composting bags free. But
well, that's what we did when we did it briefly. My concern with not charging for the compost bags is that people are going to try to take the free bags and just put garbage in them.
Yeah,
which
that's going to be
we
a
did
problem.
see. Yeah.
Yep.
Which we did see in the last go round.
But if you stay with the smaller, the five
Well, so
gallon bag,
the state is mandating that we compost, and you're going to ask the taxpayers to buy a trash bag. So you have to pay to throw the trash away. Now we have to pay to throw the compost away. People are either going to hide the compost in the trash bag, or they're going to hide the trash in the compost bag if you charge them. So
Yep.
I don't know. To my mind, maybe the trash bags become 25 cents more expensive and the compost bags go away for free. And that's an incentive to taxpayers to put their compost in a compost bag because they think it's free, if you will,
Okay.
is my opinion.
Well, then they save money on trash bags, though, if they're not using as much trash too. That's a very good incentive.
That's also true.
That's exactly the point, is right. They're paying maybe a quarter more for the trash bag, the purple trash bag, but they're not paying anything for the composting bag. So people think they're getting a deal. It's a wash for us,
Mhm.
but anyway,
All right. So
I think this entire program is going to be incredibly hard for the state to mandate, but
yeah, I agree. So I guess what we're looking for is,
ridiculous.
do we want to order a shipping container and say, I don't know, 500 of the 5-gallon bags to get us started? Irv, do you know how long it would take us to get the container?
no, a lot of them, there's a lot of places that have them right in stock. They're
Okay.
used, they're not brand new.
Right.
You can get a good, decent one.
Are we really gonna buy a $2,000 20-foot container to put our compost in?
How is waste management
What-
supposed to
what
pick
are
that up?
the-
How long is it going to take? How long is it going to take to fill up that shipping container?
Well, no, the
And
idea,
is there another
Wait.
option?
the idea is we have an agreement currently with Triple T where they will take the bags. We just don't have anywhere, because we don't run the truck down I guess we do it like once a week in the summer, but it's like every 2 weeks in the winter, and they can't get mixed in with the compacted garbage. They have to be put on at the end. So we need somewhere to store them, really just for a couple days a week, maybe 2, until we
Yeah,
run the
well,
compactor down.
You gotta store them bags from all week on, and then after you close down on Saturday or Monday morning, that's when you put them in the truck.
Yeah.
You can't put them right in with the garbage.
You don't
Right.
think it'd be easier to get a dumpster and just put them into a dumpster? I mean, we can chain equipment and drive across the country, but we can't keep a bear out of out of a container. I mean, let's think about this for 5 seconds.
I have to agree with Rob.
I mean, let's
We're
stop
not
and
going
think
to keep a
about this
bear
for
out
5
of
seconds.
a
A
dumpster full of
20-foot
compost.
container for $2,000 is way overdone. It's gonna stink to high heaven. Who the hell's gonna wanna handle it? Get it in a dumpster, you can chain it to the bucket of something and go dump it. Come on. It's gonna cost $500 for
I
a
have
brand
to
new
agree with
dumpster
Rob.
thereabout. Modify it up to keep a bear out of it. If we don't have the technology to keep a bear out of a dumpster, then we need to stop and resurrect our situation. I mean, we've landed people on the moon, so to speak.
Okay.
We're going to start mining the moon. Come on.
All right. So let's start with this. Do we want to order the bags? We can order the
Yes.
bags now.
Yes,
We'll
let's-
have them, and then we can
Yes.
figure out what to do about the dumpster thing. Maybe Steve, you and Irv and Rob could research that, and figure out a way to modify it so that we can keep the bears out for a couple of days.
Yeah, I'll talk to Triple T about getting a container, a dumpster, whether it's 8-yard or whatever it is, and I'll start that conversation.
All right. So then I guess I would entertain a motion to order 500 5-gallon organics compostable bags from Organic Solutions at a price
So
of
moved.
be 5 times 25, be $125 plus shipping. Is there a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of ordering compostable bags from Organic Solutions signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So Carla, if you could put that in the works tomorrow,
Yep.
that would be great. Okay, and I see that Sherwood is now here. So I'd entertain a motion to take the agenda out of order and go back up to members of the public / COVID-19 town updates.
So moved.
There's a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Mr. Lake, welcome, sir.
Hello, how are you this evening?
Doing all right. We got the bills paid this time. That was good.
Oh, that's cool. I heard the debate about the bear proofing. That was pretty interesting.
So we have, Sherwood has put together a policy in response to COVID-19 pandemic for the town and its employees and buildings. So you guys all got a copy of this, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. So Sherwood, you want to lay out what's going on?
Well, basically what this thing is because everything is changing at an incredible rate. All of the information that's out there is either old, is incorrect, or is just not valid. So in order to create a kind of a platform so everybody is on the same page, and to help secure town employees and the general public from potential infection from this thing. And no matter what anybody tells you, we're not out of the woods by a long shot. I put together, based on the meetings that I've been going through for the last month, what the current information is that has been substantiated through the Department of Health, through Department of Labor, the Emergency Management, Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns. And it is an evolving document in the sense that most policies have a longer term of validity. This one can change every week. Matter of fact, the governor has made it known that he intends to make changes to this thing by every Friday. So this is in a sense a living document, and it just spells out how to secure, or what to secure as far as the building goes, the employees' safety and security, and the general public that's building. It also sets down some rules as to who can be in the buildings that the town owns, and this is not just the town hall. It involves the town highway, garage, and the fire department as well. Do you want me to go through this thing top to bottom?
Well, I've had a chance to read it through. It all looks, reasonable is the wrong word, but it seems to take into account all the policies and procedures that I think would give us a better shot at keeping our employees safe and healthy. Does anybody have any changes that they think it might need? No? Okay.
So Will, I had sent an email out earlier this today, I guess. Was today Tuesday? Today, asking about multiple people in the building of the town hall, and Sherwood actually answered that for me, or for all of us, I guess. So
Right.
I'm just a little bit concerned about, I'm a little bit concerned about multiple listers being in the building at the same time with the town clerk, with Carla, even though Carla's, in another section of the building. I think we need to really think through that as a governing body of the town, I guess, and make a decision around how many listers should be in that office altogether with a potential service animal. I'm not sure what Rose's role is with Mike, but I think we need to talk about that tonight. With
Yep,
Sherwood.
I agree. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Will, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now, one thing to consider is that the regulations say 6 feet of space. All right, so if you talk about 6 feet of space, that's not just 6 feet between one person to the other, but if you imagine putting a person in the center of basically a 12-foot circle, because you got 6 foot forward, back. Once you start talking about those kind of circles merging, you're taking up space really fast, really quickly. And if you are talking about a room, well, if we brought up the size of the listers, you can't really conceivably put more than one person and comply with the regulation or the addendum in that office. So, and then once you add in the complexity of the service dog into the mix, however you want to characterize or count that, because shed of the virus can end up on that dog's coat and somebody could contract it, that dog is just as liable to shed disease as is any person. Understand that the CDC has identified cases where animal-human transmission, and we're talking through to viral contagions, not just on surfaces. It has occurred, but it is very rarely. But once you put that element on top of a coat, on top of a table surface or whatever, now you have another pathway to the contagion. So it's not just numbers, but distance.
Ellen, did you have something you wanted to add? Helen, are you there? Oh, no, she says, no thanks, listening and thinking. Okay. Yeah, so as far as the listers go, I imagine that Sherwood, you and I will probably have a conversation with Mike and Helen and Jean, as well as Anita, about how we work out scheduling and, it may be the listers work off hours. We may open up like a Thursday so that they can be the only two in the building to do what they have to do in a single day. The other thing is, I wanted to ask Steve, we had talked a little while ago about building a plexiglass divider for the clerk's office.
Yes.
Have you gotten anywhere with that?
It will be done by Friday.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I guess, did anybody have any other questions on the policy itself?
I've got a question about the listers. I was wondering, did Gene Cook get an exemption for smoking on the front steps?
No.
Oh, okay.
Has he been?
Yep.
I witnessed it myself 2 Fridays in a row. I brought it up to Helen. She was going to mention it to Jean, but since that time, he is still out there smoking.
I've got pictures of him today smoking out there.
Yep. No, it doesn't pertain to him. He just doesn't care.
Okay. Something else. So any other questions on the policy? All right, then the one other thing I wanted to mention about the policy is the last paragraph, in which we, the board, would allow Sherwood to make changes in this policy as they can come up. For instance, something comes out this Friday, we don't have a meeting for another 2 weeks. This would allow Sherwood to make changes to the policy, and then we could approve, ratify. Obviously, he and I have discussed it. Whenever possible, he would make us aware before he had to implement anything. But in the case of a change in either the governor's edicts or addendums, something that has to be added or can be removed, we would give him the authority to make those changes on our behalf. So that's one piece of it that I wanted to make sure that everybody was clear on before we decide to approve this or not. So any other questions? Okay, I guess I'd entertain a motion to adopt the policy in response to the COVID-19 pandemic for the town of Townsend.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of adopting the policy in response to the COVID-19 pandemic for the town of Townsend signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So Carla, tomorrow I will email this to the listers and to Anita and Elaine. And then Steve, if you want to take a copy and post it in the garage or give it to your guys, that's probably a good idea. We should also send it to the library, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Will, one more thing if I could.
Yeah, of course.
Just on a related note, the state of Vermont has put out requirements via VOSHA for anybody working. I sent out links today in an email to access that training material. It has to be completed by everybody involved by the 4th of May. One of the things that the state has taken this to the very seriously in that they've been mandated, even their highway and all actually state employees have to do this same training. Mm-hmm. Considering that they've all had this infectious disease training anyways as part of their normal course of business, they really are pushing it out to people to get done. So those links are at the VOSHA website for people that want to see it. If there's just people in the general public that want to see the information, go to the VOSHA website. I took the training today. It takes 20 minutes to finish, and there is a lot of information in there for people just in general to absorb that would be very helpful in understanding this thing.
Yep. Yeah, actually, that was next on my agenda, Sherwood. Well played.
Okay.
I'd like to say thank you very much to Karen at the library because she has opened up again and is doing curbside pickup, and it has made my children very happy to be able to get books out.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so we all have to do it. Steve, all your guys have to do it.
Yep.
Anita, the listers, like everyone who, Kurt will have to do it. Everyone who has anything with town hall. So Carla, maybe tomorrow you could inform everybody. Irv, there is a printable copy of it, which Carla, if you could print one and throw it in Irv's box so that he can do it. And then once the trainings are done, there's a certificate. All the certificates will go to Sherwood. He will compile them and then make copies for Carla, put in the town files, and then keep copies for his role as emergency management director. So everything can go, once you've done the training, go to Sherwood. Okay. Thank you, Sherwood. I appreciate it.
No problem. Take care. Have a good night.
You too.
Night,
Thank you,
Sherwood.
Sherwood.
Thank you.
Okay, moving back up to old business. We have the listers form 4155, right? Yes, 4155. That was the certificate of no appeal or suit pending. I did finally get some answers from VLCT, and I was able to talk to the listers and to Anita. So after the Board of Abatement ruling, they had 30 days to file a further appeal. They did not. And then they also have paid the taxes. So according to VLCT, they can no longer come back on this property for this tax year. So with that said, I would entertain a motion, or anybody have any questions on that? Okay. I would entertain a motion to sign the certificate of no appeal or suit pending for the grand list, listers form 4155.
So moved.
Okay.
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of signing the form 4155 certificate of no appeal or suit pending signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So Crystal, I think you and I have already signed it. So Steve, Irv, and Rob, if you could swing by the town hall, and whoever puts the last signature on it, it needs to go to Anita after that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right. John Evans sent an email to Anita. His planning commission term is up in 2020, so he would like to be reappointed. So I would entertain a motion to appoint John Evans to the planning commission for a 5-year term.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of appointing John Evans to the planning commission for a 5-year term signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So, Carla, if you could just let John know that he can continue his reign.
Mhm.
Okay, next thing was we had when we did the first class license for B-Boro Corp, Wyndham Hill Inn, they had a third class liquor license application that got separated from it. So we had formed a quorum. We got 3 signatures on that. So I would just, to ratify this, all those in favor of approving the renewal of the third class liquor license for B-Boro Corp, which is Wyndham Hill Inn. Sorry. Second?
Second.
Second. Oh.
Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor of renewing the third class liquor license for B-Boro Corp, Wyndham Hill Inn, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Motion passes. Okay. Does anyone have any need for an executive session? Okay. The
No,
next regular
I do
meeting.
not.
The next regular meeting is May 12th.
My dog just threw up, sorry.
Oh, God. Next regular meeting is May 12th at 6:30.
Yeah,
Will be a Zoom meeting. Also, in talking to Anita today, I am going to set up the town Zoom account this week. So the meeting information will change by our next meeting. And if nobody else has anything else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Second. Done.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
But I have
Good
a
job,
quick
Will.
question
Thank
first.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
Wait, Steve, hold on. Steve, hold on.
Carla?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not meeting related. It's just more along the lines of, I sent you an email this afternoon. Riverbend needs 2 boxes of bags.
Okay.
And if you wanted to do that, I have the invoice pad on top of my desk. It's already filled out. So if you could
Okay,
just
I'll
get their
pick it up.
signature and leave them the yellow copy, that'd be awesome.
All right. I'll pick it up in the morning and bring it down.
All right, fantastic. Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, good night, everybody.
Thank you. Night, Will. Good
Have a
job.
good night.
Okay, 7:35.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Nice work.